Hello, my name is Robert Abel, and I'm with Mad Disc Golf, based out of Madrid, Spain. And this is part of my YouTube series on disc golf tournaments, disc golf leagues, education, how-tos, and instructional videos. So today we're going to talk about how to set up a PDGA League and some of the best practices around that. Why have a PDGA League is the first question you should have. It's to grow the sport and have more propagators in your area. And I'll touch base on propagators here on the next page. Most importantly, a lot of people want to have a PDGA rating and play in events and to watch their rating grow and, to have bragging rights. And the problem is that whether it's your job or your family commitments, you might have a hard time getting away for all day Saturday. And most of the time, it's all day Saturday and all day Sunday to play disc golf, and it might cost you $50 to $75 or euros. So it's a little restrictive on time, and it's pretty expensive. So another nice thing about a PDGA League is you can have a parent and a child play together in the same rounds every week during the events. Whereas if you went and played a B tier or C tier event, if you have a 13-year-old son that likes to play, the adult really should be the chaperone and follow the child through their round and watch them play. Unless the tournament director puts adults with kids, but generally you play with your divisions. So with a league, if your wife is wanting to play or is competing and you've got a child that wants to play along as well, the three of you with a fourth person can be in the same group and play the league round if you so chose to. So that's really cool as far as inclusion. So that's nice there. So another great thing about a league is it does create a little bit of a revenue stream for the club. And so what you can do is charge €1 per person or $1 each week someone comes out. You collect that because there's a fee for registering the event itself. And in the States, and I'm not sure what other countries at this moment, they also charge 50 cents per player per week. Currently in Europe, they only charge to register the event, and they do not charge the weekly rate for the players. And that's to help the PDGA grow throughout Europe, and I think there's also an insurance piece behind that because we don't have insurance coverage from the PDGA here in Europe. So whether you charge €1 a week or you charge five, be respectful and understand where the money's going and communicate that to your group. Okay, so if you're wanting to raise money for tee signs, build benches, pay for bag tags. If your group is very club centric, that's what some of this money can go towards. Or course improvements like mulch or dirt in places that are having some issues with erosion. And as I said earlier, with a PDGA League, it can be €1 to €5 to play, and that's a lot cheaper than paying 40 or 50 to go play out of town for a weekend. What do I need to set up a PDGA League? As a tournament director, you need to ask yourself, okay, can I commit 6 to 10 weeks to run this thing? 6 weeks is the minimum time span, week after week. You can't skip any to run these events. So do you need to commit to staying in town for the next 6 weeks, whether that's on Sunday mornings or Monday nights, if there's daylight in the evenings? Or you make sure you have another certified official in your group so that one of you is present and able to manage the events. So you need to be a certified official, and that's on the PDGA's website. You can go take the exam, and you can take it as many times as you want, and you don't pay for it until you pass it. So you can take it the first time and pass, and it costs you, I think it's $5. If it takes you 10 times to pass it, you only pay once, the 10th time, $5. That's it. The test is now in Spanish as well, so you can take the test in Spanish, and the rules book is also in Spanish that you can reference. The other thing that you'll need to have an event so that people can get round ratings is you need 3 propagators. And so a propagator is someone that has played 8 rounds, rated rounds, and I think it's within the last 2 years they'll go back. So you may ask yourself, how do I even know who's a propagator? How do I find this out? So, excuse me. So an easy way to check is we'll go over here, and if you go back to a recent tournament that you've had in your area, okay, you'll see that here is Hudson Blair. He's a PDGA player, and you'll notice that his PDGA rating is not in bold. Okay, anyone that has bold numbers is a propagator. And as far as I'm concerned, this is the easiest way to find out who is and who is not. Now, you need to be careful to see that these change over time, right? So you'll need to make sure that this is a recent tournament that you're looking at. Okay, so if we go back over here to the league, when we played this past fall, you'll notice that Grady Harbor back then was not a propagator because he didn't have enough rated rounds, right? But if you went back to the event that we just did, that last league got him over 8 rounds, which he is now a propagator, right? And the other thing to be careful of is they can actually be one in the past. See, now Victor is not a propagator. Okay, he wasn't a propagator for this league. But when he went to the Spanish Championship, Victor was. Okay, so what happened was after he played the championship, they did the ratings update, and then after this event, even though he just played within the, I think it's the 2-year time span, he dropped to less than 8 rated rounds. Okay, so this is something. This is how you find out. Okay, you just need to go to a recent event that everyone played, and just go look at the bold ratings next to their names. So when we started our league, we made sure that myself, Jorge, and Miguel were present every week because we were trying to get these people rated rounds. So we were required to be there. Now that we ran our league, we've got more people, and we were able to do La Corona de Madrid, and you'll see that we, at this event, because of our league, we had added 4 more propagators. And then after this tournament here, we will, because some people missed some weeks, we'll be able to get an additional 3. So that's how you find out what a propagator is and who is a propagator. So that's your 3 propagators. The next question you need to find out is, do I have a course to play? Here in Spain, we don't have many courses, and we're trying to get the clubs to grow. So you can set up a temporary course, and it's a 13-hole minimum, or you can do multiple rounds with 6 baskets. So if you have 6 baskets, then you can play 3 rounds of 6 to get to 18 holes. The math works better to play 18 holes, so that not every putt is worth so much, and it just helps with the averaging out of how your player rating round is. So if you've only got 6 baskets, try to set up 3 tee pads, play 3 rounds of 6 holes. If you have 9 baskets, then set up 2 tee pads at 9 individual baskets and play 2 rounds of 9 to make 18 holes. If you don't have room for 2 different tee pads, that's okay. So you can play the exact same 9-hole course twice. However, it is beneficial if you can add a separate tee pad on some or all of the holes, and it doesn't always have to be one tee pad is longer than the other. You can set up a tee pad where at this basket, the first time around, you can do a mando left of the tree, okay? And then the second round, you can make it a mando right. It's just to change the shots and to help challenge people to show off their skills. Do you have permission to use the course? So most important thing when running PDGA events is you need the insurance. And in America, we get some insurance lumped in with our PDGA membership. There's supplemental insurance available to use at parks departments. A lot of parks They don't really want you to have an insurance policy because you're covered under theirs. And sometimes they just want to know that you're running an event on the property. So if you have their permission to use the course for a PDGA event, just check with them. I mean, they'll tell you, and then you'll be fine. If they require insurance, then you can get that from the PDGA if you're in America. And if you're here in Spain, for example, we have the Spanish Association insurance policy that covers players that are registered with a Spanish club to cover us for events. So that's all you need for that. Some common questions. Can I set up a league on my private course where there's never been a tournament? The answer is yes. In my next video, I'll show you how to register a tournament, and you'll have to drill in and pick where the course is. And they save a history of courses played to help with their ratings and future ratings. So yes, you can set up a private course. Another common question is, do I have to use the same course every week? No, you do not. If you're in a town that has two different courses, you can play 1 week at course A, the next week at course B, the following week back at course A, then back over to course B. If you have 4 courses in your area, then you can alternate between all 4 and play 2 of them twice. So there's a lot of flexibility here. The most important thing is everyone has to throw from the same tee pad. Okay, so if you're a course that has short tees and long tees, everyone needs to throw from the shorts that day. Now that doesn't mean that the next week you go out, you can play the same course, but everyone has to throw from the long tees if you want to add some change. That's okay, but on that day, everyone has to throw from the same spot. That's how the rating system will break out for the leagues to save time on the PDGA. Can I run a league on Saturday and Sunday? So if you've got a big club and getting 6 people or more out there is not a problem, and you've got someone that can run the event on Saturday and Sunday, then the answer is yes. However, it will be 2 separate leagues. So you'll have to set up the Midge Saturday singles, and then you'll have another tournament, another league called the Midge Sunday singles. Okay, and that's how you can have 2 rated rounds every weekend to really kick this off. Okay, you can also do, if you've got a really big club and you've got a course that has short tees and long tees, then you can register one league as the Saturday singles short tees, and then you can have another league called the Saturday singles long tees. And you can run these 2 events at the same time on the same course. You just got to make sure people that are signed up for the long tees event play the long, and the other group plays the shorts. It will cost you more. So rather than being out $25, you'll be out $50 because you register 2 events. But if you have enough people coming through and paying, then money's not an issue. On these events, you can do flex starts. If you have a lot of people that get off work at 3 o'clock and they want to get out there and play and finish by 6 so they can get home to their family, they can. They just need to have at least 3 people per group in the league, 3 people on the card. And as long as they send you the money and they use the PDGA live scoring or a digital scorecard and they send it to you, then you're good. You can do a shotgun start, just kind of a standard. Everyone spreads out and everyone starts at once, so everyone finishes at the same time. You can do that. You can do tee times. You can have, rather than a flex start, it's a controlled flex start in a sense that you just, hey, if you're supposed to tee off at set 10, you're there at 10. So you have the same flexibility that you have in a normal tournament here. A nice thing about a PDGA League is, can I do divisions, payouts, and trophies? The answer is yes. In any C tier or better event, the players have to play open to win money. However, in a league, anyone can win money. So it's a nice way for amateurs to, if you want to charge more to play, and actually pay out cash winnings at the end of the event from all the weeks, or you can do a daily payout just based off the people that showed up that day and based off their performance that day. That's one thing that gets difficult about the leagues is a lot of people want to run all 6 weeks and then declare a winner, and that's fine. But not everybody can make it every week. Okay, so maybe you run it for 8 weeks and then you count the best 6 scoring weeks, for example. There's different ways to do it, and you'll figure out what works for you. But yes, you can do divisions in this thing, open, advanced, intermediate, rec. You can pay out cash. You can use the money that you collect to pay for some pretty nice trophies. Lots of flexibility. And I just touch base on this. What if people can't make every week? As I said, keep track of people's lowest scoring rounds is my suggestion. The league is going to add up points for every person that you beat. But that gets kind of messy if you're trying to count the best weeks, because if there's 2 weeks with rain and not many people show up, then it's kind of pointless for everybody because the points were cut in half. You'll see what I'm talking about when you run it. So some suggestions for running a quality league is in your league the week of a ratings update. So the ratings are updated every second Tuesday of the month, and the tournament reports are due that Sunday prior. So my suggestion is to schedule your league to finish that Sunday, because that's the day the reports due, or earlier, or the week prior, because when you're running the league for 6 to 10 weeks, even though a ratings update happens in the middle of it, the 3 weeks that you've played so far don't count towards the ratings because they don't get submitted till the event is done. Okay, so if you finish your league the week after a ratings update, then you'll have to wait another 4 weeks for the ratings update to come through. So someone that's playing and they want to see their ratings improve, if you end the league right after a ratings update, that first couple of weeks they played, they're not going to see the fruits of their labor for 2.5 months, and it's pretty frustrating. Okay, so keep that in mind. This is super important, especially if you're trying to grow disc golf in your community. Everyone likes playing against each other, but this is a good time to start educating people to play their rating and encourage people to play in the correct divisions to help them understand the ratings system. And this also helps encourage your beginners to come out and play and not want to get beat by someone who's a 935 rated player every week. I mean, who wants to show up and take last place every week? It's kind of frustrating. So it's a nice challenge to, at least if you've got 9 people, throw your top 3 in one. If there's a huge skills set gap, but just manage that and try to split people up. Everyone has the option to play up in a more challenging division. That's their right. But everyone does not have the right to play down and go play rec just to beat everybody. So, and this is really important with the leagues, and manage this how you want. But it's important to let everyone know at the beginning of the league that this is an educational format, and it's designed to help turn your beginner players into skilled players, and this includes the rules. So encourage your tenured players to coach the new players on the rules. How does the mini work? Where do I put my foot? Encourage people to take the time to point out that someone is making a mistake before they make it, and don't just sit around and wait for people to make a mistake so that you can give them a penalty stroke. That's just mean. You save that for a real tournament. The league is about educating and encouraging people to play better. So if it's a new guy and he does a foot fault, especially on a drive where he's 100 meters away from the basket, just tell him what he did. He probably doesn't even know. If it's very clear to you already that they know the rules and they made a mistake, then they should probably take a penalty stroke. So another nice thing is a lot of clubs do doubles on Sundays at 11 a.m. Okay, so if you're looking for a time to run these events, you can run these events before your doubles events. A lot of people, if they're going to go play disc golf at 11 a.m. on Sunday, they probably would also show up at 8:30 and play a round to get a rated round, play a round of singles, to get loosened up, and then they can hang out, have a few beers, and play doubles and enjoy the park and their friends. Another the most important thing here about running leagues that I've experienced is respect people's time. Okay, this is just a league. It's not a huge 2, 3 round C tier event. So people do have other priorities to get home to family and whatnot. So uh, this is singles. So if you play people in groups of three rather than groups of four, groups of three are generally going to play 25 minutes faster on 18 holes. It's pretty normal. Okay. So if you're trying to get people to finish at the same time, as a tournament manager, if you've got a lot of guys with carts or some older guys that move a little slower, put your MA40 guys in groups of three, maybe put your rec players in groups of three to speed them up, because guys with carts like myself, you have to get upstairs, pick your cart up and go over the logs. And then you can put your advanced guys and your intermediate guys in groups of four. So if you just manage your speed of your groups with threes and fours to try to get people to finish at the same time. Nobody likes to finish and wait for 45 minutes for another group to finish. It gets frustrating. And the most important component here would be the PDGA Live scoring. With technology now, this is great. You can have everyone show up. They go to the PDGA scorecard, they put their names in, they keep score on that, and at the end of the event, they hit submit, and it gets automatically uploaded in your tournament manager report. You don't have to sit there and double check scorecards, go back home on your laptop, key in the scores. It's all done seamless for you. So you've got to do it. It's the easiest way to do it. I'll show you in the next video how to set that up. And also a rule for PDGA 2021 moving forward is you need to have 2 scorecards in each group. So you'll have one person using their PDGA Live scorecard, and another person can use a paper scorecard, or they can use their UDisc app, because you need to have 2 separate scorecards for the event and to confirm that there's no conflicts in what the actual score is. So I appreciate your time on this video. As I said, my name is Robert with Mad Disc Golf here in Madrid, Spain, and I hope you enjoyed these educational series, and feel free to reach out to me with any questions. Follow us on Instagram at Mad Disc Golf, Facebook's Mad Disc Golf, and obviously this is a YouTube channel if you'd like this video, and share it with others, and I appreciate your time.